Hey, what's up you guys? It's Moesoda here, and welcome to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to talk about the most anticipated anime of 2019. I am so excited for this year in anime, and if you've been keeping up with anime as of a few years ago, you probably will too. Now, this year wasn't too great of a year for anime. Fall and winter seasons were pretty bomb, but spring and summer seasons were completely lacking. So let's take a look at what's in store for us for the coming year. And this video can also serve as my plan to watch video for the winter season because a lot of these anime come out this winter season. Very soon. We have a ton of anime to cover, so grab a snack, buckle up, let's get started. So the first anime on my list is Kakegurui, or Compulsive Gambler, and we are getting a season 2. You guys, I am so excited. It originally aired in summer of 2017, and it stole the season for me. You guys, I love Kakegurui so much. I love the character designs. I love the uniforms that they wear. I love Runa and Jabami. I just love how each character is super unique from every other character. And if you're new to Kakegurui, I'll give you a quick summary. Basically, Jabami transfers to this prestigious school who has a caste system that is kind of odd. On breaks and after school, all of the students gamble. And they gamble with tons and tons of money. And they gamble with things like student council seats, or expulsions, or fingernails. Yeah, that's right. Fingernails. Jabami quickly rises through the ranks of the caste system and battles a few of the student council members. The last gamble that we saw was the gamble between Jabami and Momobami, who is a student council member. Is she the president? I can't remember. Is she the president? Let's fucking look it up. The final gamble of the first season was between Jabami and Momobami, and it was for expulsion of the school. And I know a lot of fans felt like it was underwhelming because it ended in a draw, but I am super excited to see where Jabami takes the second season of Kakegurui. I do know that they are introducing a bunch of new characters, which I'm super excited for. I'm also excited to see if Runa gets any more screen time, because Runa is my favorite character. She's short and cute and super sassy, and I love her. I cosplay her. I think she needs way more airtime than she was given in season 1, so I'm super excited to see if she gets more airtime in season 2. And I have high hopes for season 2 for Jabami to be on the student council, and I'm really excited to see if she gets on the student council and if she is able to disrupt the whole school caste system. She came into the school acting all sweet and innocent, and as soon as she started gambling, she let her true colors show, and I loved it. The first season was so crazy. I am so excited for the second season. So the next few anime that I'm going to talk about are from Creator 1, and they are Mob Psycho 100 and One Punch Man. Both of these manga won awards, so it's no surprise that they're getting a second season of their anime. And lucky for us, they both come out this year. But let's talk about Mob Psycho 100. It first aired in the summer of 2016. That was a good season, if I can recall. To sum up the anime, both Mob and his mentor take on clients that are in need of psychic exorcisms, I guess you would call them. So when someone comes into their office with an issue, Mob and Region try to solve the problem for them. Most of the time, it's Mob doing all of the work because Mob is actually psychic, whereas Region is not psychic but is pretending to be. He's like the self-proclaimed greatest psychic of the 20th century. And Mob doesn't know that he's faking. In the first season, we watch Mob take down a cult leader, rival with a neighboring middle school, and ultimately team up with that middle school to infiltrate a secret organization. The second season of Mob Psycho 100 premiered at Anime NYC this year, which I attended, but unfortunately the line was super long, so I couldn't see the sneak peek at it. but I am so excited for this anime. Mob Psycho was a breath of fresh air of summer 2016. It was so much different than a lot of the other anime content that was coming out at that time, and I was drawn to it because it wasn't your normal story. A lot of stories you don't see about psychics or about their abilities, and the way it was drawn just spoke to me. I am super excited for the second season. I want to see how Berserk Mob goes. I want to see if he reaches 100%. I want to watch that happen because it's insane. I would love to see more adventures with the Salt Middle School gang. Maybe the Salt Middle School gang and Mob and his friends will team up to defeat a rival high school. That would be cool. I would like to see that. I'm just generally excited for Mob Psycho 2. For all of you people out there who got to see it at Anime NYC, no spoilers in the comments. I want to go at Mob Psycho 100 with a clean slate. No spoilers in the comments. I'm watching you. So let's talk about One Punch Man. It first aired in the fall season of 2015. I didn't watch it at that time, even though I was watching currently airing anime. Actually, I kind of just watched it this weekend so that I could talk about it, and I have a few thoughts. I have a few things to say. I have some feelings. It is adapted from a webcomic of the same name and is about Saitama, a depressed man who decides that he wants to be a hero for fun, and he starts training, and he trains every single day for 3 years until he can defeat any enemy with one punch. The concept seems easy enough, and I really like the humor that one presents, especially in Mob Psycho, because I feel like it really works in Mob Psycho. However, in One Punch Man, I feel like the humor just needed to be pushed a little bit further. It's a lot of sarcastic humor, which you don't normally see in anime, which I like, and I thought it was funny, but after the first few episodes, it kind of gets old. And yes, at the very end, he doesn't defeat the villain with one punch. It takes a bunch of punches, and like, that's cool if you want to push the boundary on the one punch rule. I just wanted more. I wanted more humor. I wanted more of Saitama being super dry. You know what I mean? Don't come for me. Someone has to think this. Like, does anyone else feel like the villains are a little cliche? You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen almost every villain before in a previous form of anime or like gaming culture. If anyone feels that way, leave me a comment down below, because I was watching it and I was like, hey, wait a second. That looks a lot like, and that one looks a lot like. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of One Punch Man. I don't know. Please be nice. I love Mob Psycho. Isn't that enough? I'm actually more invested in Genos' story than I am in Saitama's story. I really want Genos to be able to take revenge. Is Metal Knight actually his enemy? Is he not the enemy? I am kind of curious about how the anime will progress, because when you stick to such a rigid rule of one punch, you know, it kind of, I feel like, gets boring if you're watching the same thing over and over and over. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with this second season. Just a quick little warning for all of you guys out there. I don't read manga. I don't like to read manga. I like to collect manga and flip through it and look at the panels, but I don't actually read the manga that I collect. I just like it for art's value, for the art value of it, whatever you want to call it. So just FYI, I totally get that I probably could find out what happens in the story if I just read the manga, but I don't like reading. I mean, that's relatable, right? The next anime we're gonna talk about is Fruits Basket. That's right, they're redoing Fruits Basket. This show hasn't been on my radar for a pretty long time. It originally aired in summer of 2001, if you can even say that there was an airing season back then, but it aired in the summer season of 2001. It's a shoujo tale about the Chinese zodiac. I love the art style of Fruits Basket. I just feel like it was drawn so endearing. That's what kind of drew me to the series. From what I knew of Western cartoons, it had a pretty distinct style, and I really enjoyed that. It's also about a girl who is seemingly homeless, and she lives in the woods, but finds these two boys that are able to change into their zodiac sign, and she then lives with them. And it's just very heartwarming. I really liked Fruits Basket. I thought it was mind-blowing when I first saw it. Obviously that's not the case now because there are plenty of anime that blow my mind, but it's one of those anime that I look back and I'm like, ah, Fruits Basket. I love that back then. It was probably one of the few anime that I watched after I started watching anime, so it holds a really special place in my heart. So I think of it as more of a nostalgic anime. And what's really crazy about the new adaptation, the original creator of the manga, Natsuki Takaya, she is requesting a completely new crew to work on this new anime, as well as a completely different art style. I'm not sure if you know too much about this manga artist or Fruits Basket, but when the artist was drawing Fruits Basket, she was pretty sick towards the end and the drawings are pretty shaky. So when the producers came to her about rebooting the series, she made a bunch of requests right off the bat. One was that it had a completely different art style than the original series, because when she was drawing the manga, she was in pretty poor health and the drawings were pretty shaky, and we have all this new technology now, so why not? The second thing was that the staff that is working on this anime be completely different from the old staff of the original anime. Apparently she had a lot of issues with the director making decisions that she didn't approve of, and she wanted to completely go at this with brand new eyes, fresh slate. And what's really cool about this is the original anime didn't adapt the entire manga, but now that the manga is completed, it's ready to be adapted into a full-on series. I'm excited. I loved Fruit Basket so much. It was such an influential anime when it came out. I'm excited to see how Natsuki recreates her old vision of this classic series into new and updated art and animation styles, and I'm here for it. I'm ready for Fruits Basket. Really love the old style, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this new art style, but if she's working on it and she approves of everything, then how can I not be excited to watch this new Fruits Basket? The next anime I want to talk about is Made in Abyss Season 2. And I'm so excited for Made in Abyss Season 2. They left us at a cliffhanger in the last season. We knew it was coming, we just didn't know when. Originally airing in the summer season of 2017, the new season is going to air this winter. That's in a few weeks. I am so excited. If you don't know the story of Made in Abyss, what do you even call an abyss? Like, I've never even seen one in real life. It's like a hole in the ground that you can't see to the bottom of because it has such a depth to it that it basically has different atmospheres at each level. It's really crazy. But basically her mom was an adventurer and ascended to the lower levels and never returned from the adventure. So she went to live in this orphanage where they train children to go and be adventurers, and they get whistles depending on how highly they are ranked within the adventurer system. It's a lot. But I was taken aback by the art style at first because most of the characters are chibi, and chibi has to be done like specifically right for me to like it. Like, I don't purchase Nendoroids because if the character isn't already small, then I don't want a weird knockoff looking figure of an anime character. Like, but if it is small, that's when I buy Nendoroid. Do you know what I mean? Do you get me? Do you feel me? So Riko receives a letter from her mom from the abyss, and we're not sure if she is actually alive or how long the letter has been ascending to the surface, but Riko is dead set on finding out if her mom is at the bottom of the abyss, and if there's any chance that she could see her mom again, Riko is going to take it. So Riko and Reg set out to ascend through the abyss, and there are a bunch of complications on their journey. The biggest complication in their journey is Riko really hurts her arm pretty badly, and it takes a really long time to recover. Fortunately for Riko and her half-human, half-robot friend Reg, who helps her ascend to the abyss, they stumble upon this woodland creature, woodlandish looking bunny situation creature that is named Nanachi, and she is able to help Riko. She knows a lot about She knows a lot about the different plant life and vegetation and animals that live in the area of the abyss that they get stranded in. And she's able to formulate some kind of remedy for the situation that is happening on Riko's arm. However, it does take a really, really long time for her to even wake up or heal from this. And the final episode, Riko has finally woken up. She is on the mend. She's using her arm and building her strength back up so that her and Reg can ascend even further into the depths of the abyss. And because Nanachi was such a big help to them, she asks Nanachi if she wants to come with them on their journey, and Nanachi agrees. The final scene we see is this red armored man standing in front of a wall of light bulbs with little nameplates on them, and some of the light bulbs are dimmed out. As we're watching, this one specific light bulb dims out to not being lit anymore, and the nameplate underneath was Nanachi. So we are to assume that Nanachi has ascended past where this person, or where this armored person can track Nanachi. And I am super curious as to why there is someone tracking her. She was part of an experimentation, I believe, of this armored person when she first came into the abyss. So it's safe to assume that this man is behind the light bulbs and the tracking of his experiments, which is kind of weird because, like, if you are experimenting on people, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, in this anime, if you're experimenting on people and you don't, I feel like you don't really care about them, and that's why you're experimenting on them. So it's weird that he would even want to keep track of Nanachi, because, like, what's the point of keeping track of her? Aren't you done with her? Like, isn't the experiment over? Do you really need to know where she is at all times? Like, I'm super curious to see where the second season goes. How far will Reg and Riko and Nanachi be able to ascend into the abyss before it takes a super duper toll on their body? I need to know. I'm so excited this comes out in winter of this year because I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. The next anime I want to talk about is Boogie Pop and Others. Boogie Pop Phantom originally aired in summer of 2000. Now that's a long time ago. The original story of Boogie Pop Phantom takes place after a pillar of light is seen in an unnamed Japanese city 5 years after a string of serial killings. And these serial killings were mostly of high school students who saw something that they shouldn't have. And at the time of these serial killings, a bunch of high school students started to disappear, and the blame is placed on Boogie Pop, an urban legend of the personification of death, basically a death god. The new season of Boogie Pop Phantom is called Boogie Pop and Others, and features Boogie Pop, an urban legend of a Shinigami who comes and relieves people of the pain that they are suffering in. A bunch of disappearances of high school female students start happening. Faculty and the police think that they just are runaways, but most people think it's Boogie Pop. Madhouse was the animation studio that worked on the original Boogie Pop Phantom series and is back for this season of Boogie Pop Phantom and Others. The tone of the original Boogie Pop was super dark and super drug involved, and was pretty avant-garde for the time because there wasn't any linear storyline, and most of the time you saw the same scene from a couple of different people's perspectives that all tied into the main picture of Boogie Pop. And while that's not the most inviting way of telling a story, it does make for something pretty avant-garde and cool, but I do feel like it was overshadowed by Serial Experiments Lain that came out a few years later. They are in the same vein. Lain also doesn't have a super linear storyline and is also very psychological. Boogie Pop was super psychological, and Boogie Pop has a little bit different of a theme than Serial Experiments Lain. If you like psychological anime and haven't seen Boogie Pop, don't fret. because this is adapted from the second light novel of the Boogie Pop Phantom series, and due to the non-linear storyline of the first series, I think it's safe to assume that you don't need to have prior knowledge of the first Boogie Pop to enjoy the second series. I don't have anything specifically that I'm looking forward to in this series. I'm just looking forward to how Madhouse decides to use newer technology and update the look of Boogie Pop. I'm super interested. A lot of the anime that are airing in the next year are either originals or their second seasons, and I'm super excited to see like how technology has advanced these anime. For me, a lot of the older anime is more nostalgic, and I love it for what it is and not like because it could be so much better, it could have been drawn this much better. It like really holds like a time in my life. For me, it's like a time marker on my timeline of events that happen in my life. So when I encounter anime, I kind of like place that as this is what anime is then, and I'm super excited to see how it is now. The next anime I want to talk about is Bang Dream, because we are apparently getting both second and third seasons of Bang Dream this year. Bang Dream appeared in winter of 2017, so almost an entire year ago was when this series first aired, and I feel like they wanted it to be K-On! I really feel like they wanted it to be K-On! I wasn't really there for it. Like, don't get me wrong, I watched the entire season, and I really like the songs, and I kind of like the story, but I feel like I need another season for me to actually be invested in the characters, just because they were almost like too cute. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it was. I feel like the story wasn't as gripping as K-On! And obviously I'm gonna compare Bang Dream to K-On! Because K-On! Is like the quintessential band anime of cute girls doing cute things. So I feel like Bang Dream just like didn't live up to K-On! In my eyes. Bang Dream is so heavily marketed though. Like if K-On! Came out now alongside with Bang Dream and they were both marketed the same, I don't think Bang Dream would have done as well as K-On! Even though it's done, I feel like I think it's done even though I think it's done statistically better than K-On!, I'm just not invested in the characters yet. I mean, K-On! Had 2 seasons and an OVA and a movie, so there was plenty of media for me to get invested into the characters. Personally, I prefer Hokaku Tea Time, but I did enjoy some of the songs of Poppin' Party. Bang Dream just doesn't have that like super unique style. They kind of just look like every other anime that airs. I'm sorry, don't come for me, but like having a hard time getting into the characters and being invested in the characters. But that's not to say I won't be watching both season 2 and season 3, and apparently they're coming out this year, so we've got a lot of Bang Dream to cover. My Hero Academia season 4 will be airing this year. Do I really need to explain it anymore? I mean, we all know what My Hero Academia is, am I right? And the next group of anime that I'm going to talk about is what I like to call, unfortunately, Netflix. And the reason I say this is because Netflix refuses to simulcast new anime, which is fine if it's a Netflix original series like Devilman Crybaby, where Netflix is the sole producer of the anime. I get it. You can do whatever you want with the anime that you produce through your platform. But when they acquire a license to stream anime that is currently airing, and then wait until the entire series is over to release all of the episodes, it does 2 things. 1, it doesn't let the anime streaming sites who actually stream anime at the current airing schedule stream. 2, if people can't watch anime as it airs, it forces them to watch anime through different channels, which may not be legal. And that doesn't give back to the anime at all. And I know this isn't the biggest issue facing our world today, and I know that people who pirate anime will probably pirate anime anyway, and it doesn't matter when it releases because they just never pay for anime they watch, but people who usually go through legal channels and pay for streaming sites, if they can't watch the anime that's currently airing and keep up to date in the community, I guess this doesn't apply to too many people, but if there's an anime that's airing and everybody's talking about it, I want to see it. I need to be up to date with my anime. Why are you keeping it from me? I have a lot of feelings about pirated anime, which is for a completely different video, but let's just get into this Netflix anime. First anime that I want to talk about that's getting released by Netflix is called Revisions, and it's slated to air in winter season of 2019, so in a few weeks, but it's coming out on Netflix, so who knows? I am super excited for this one. It's got action, it's got sci-fi, it's got mechs, and it's got a pink bombshell hero that I'll probably end up cosplaying this year. I am buckled up and ready to go with this anime. From what I've seen of the trailer, it is fully 3D CG animated, but I have faith. I have faith in Netflix this year. I have faith in 3D CG animation this year. And I know that we haven't had too good of luck in the past, but I have faith in this. And given the track record of other sci-fi mech shows of last year, I've got a good feeling about this one. To sum up the series, Daisuke and his childhood friends were involved in a phenomenon called Shibuya Drift, and they were transported to Shibuya 300 years in the future, where the city is wrought with endless wilderness, ruin, future humans, whatever that means, and huge mechanical monsters called revisions. Now, Daisuke and his friends must save Shibuya and return to their original time. The trailer looks super promising. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I have faith in Netflix with this one, especially because they're doing an Ultraman series, which is also 3D CG animated, and I feel like they've gotten the hang of it. They've gotten enough practice. The next anime that is coming out from Netflix this year is called Seven Seeds, and it's slated to air in April of 2019, which is spring season for all of you who don't know, and it's going to be animated by Studio Gonzo, which, if you didn't know, also produced Kokoku or Moment by Moment. I loved Kokoku. I thought it was super cool. I did not mind the 3D CD why do I keep calling it CD animation? It is adapted from a manga of the same name, and the reviews on the manga are all glowing and call it a masterpiece. 5 sets of men and women were cryogenically frozen to preserve the existence of mankind. I'm assuming that they were thawed. I don't know the logistics of that. And now they find themselves trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world and come to terms with the fact that their lives are completely different and the people that they loved are no longer with them. Now, this is my kind of story. You've got a post-apocalyptic setting, you've got a sci-fi element, and you got a little bit of romance. The manga was ranked in the top 20 of female readers and won the 52nd Shogakukan Manga Awards in the shoujo category. This series is supposedly one of the best-selling series in Japan, having sold over 10 million copies. If Netflix doesn't kill this, like, so many people are gonna be mad. The next anime that's coming out from Netflix this year is Ultraman. No, this is not a reboot, and it isn't a second season. Slated to air on April 1st of 2019, Netflix is adapting Ultraman into a fully 3D CG anime. By the trailer, looks like it could be promising, as long as they stick to the mechs and the robots instead of focusing heavily on the people, people and their moving of their mouths. I have faith in this series. Like I said in my best anime of winter season, I don't normally choose to watch Ultraman or Godzilla movies. Trigger has come through on the mech series this year, so I've been a little bit more open to watching series with big giant robots and kaiju and things of that sort. What I am sure about Ultraman is if the 3D CG animation is bad, I guarantee you everyone's gonna talk about it. It's so hard to adapt such a beloved series because you can't ever get it right. It doesn't matter what you do, someone will find something to complain about with it. But I like to keep an open mind when I go into these kinds of anime, and I'm pretty sure that because Netflix is doing a bunch of 3D CG animated anime this year, I feel like they're gonna pull through. I feel like they'll come through on this one. It might be slightly wonky towards the end. I believe there's supposed to be 13 episodes. We'll see how their 3D CG animation holds up. We don't have too much to go on as of yet, but I'm not faith. And if you haven't heard, Netflix has acquired the license to stream Evangelion, the original series, and the first 2 movies, which is so cool. I'm so excited for Netflix to have Evangelion. That means there's no excuse for you younger anime fans to not have seen Evangelion, because I'm sure that you share a Netflix account with your mom or your dad or your aunt or your grandma or whatever, and you will have access to it as long as you have access to a Wi-Fi network. Y'all need to appreciate how big of a masterpiece Evangelion is. And I know I might not have alluded to my thoughts on Evangelion in a previous video, but Evangelion is amazing. The art is amazing, even though the studio did run out of money at the end, and you can kind of tell, but I don't fault them for that because the ideas and the themes are still present throughout the series. It's just such a great series, you guys. I am so excited that Netflix has acquired the license for this. I'm, for one, definitely going to be checking out Evangelion and reliving all of the moments of Shinji not piloting the robot. Loki, I'm there for Asuka though. And this isn't an anime, but Netflix is going to be redoing the super iconic Cowboy Bebop into a live action series. And even though this is an anime, I know for sure the anime community will have something to say about it. Shinjiro, the original director of Cowboy Bebop, will be a consultant on the live action series that Netflix is producing. I have faith in Netflix Cowboy Bebop live action because I feel like they've learned their lesson. I feel like enough people have made such a spectacle of Netflix Death Note that they can't f this up. They cannot f this up. Because if they do, the anime community will never trust Netflix ever again with live action anything. So if they don't get this right, they're gonna lose a lot of money. Will they lose a lot of money? I don't know how Netflix works, but we will be upset if they don't get this right. And the last couple things that I wanted to talk about are a few movies that are coming out this year. Just very briefly, because I know we've covered a lot of anime in this video, but there's going to be a new City Hunter movie coming out. I'm super excited for it. I love the old style of City Hunter, and I'm excited to see what they do in the new movie of City Hunter. There will also be a Violet Evergarden movie, and if you were here for winter season this year, I feel like everyone's gonna watch this new Violet Evergarden movie because the animation was so beautiful. Even if you didn't like the story, they do the same kind of animation in the movie as they did in the series. We're gonna love it. And there's also going to be a Konosuba movie. I recently just discovered Konosuba this year. I didn't watch it when it aired because I'm not really into all of the knights and magic stuff. You guys know that if you've been on my channel for a little bit, but I do love isekai. Konosuba was just so freaking funny. I couldn't stop watching. Like, I only planned to watch like 2 episodes and then I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this, but Konosuba is so funny and I am so excited for this movie. I hope it's as funny as the series. There will also be a Yuri on Ice movie. I haven't seen Yuri on Ice, and I don't know if I will ever watch Yuri on Ice. I like can't bring myself to watch it. I don't know. I feel like it's not yaoi enough for me. Do you know what I mean? The vibe that I get is a vibe of not being yaoi enough. It's probably really cute and I'm probably missing out, but whatever. You can let me know in the comments down below. There is going to be a movie coming out this year, so Yuri on Ice fans, get ready. And the last movie that is one of my most anticipated movies of this year is called Promare or Promare. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but It's an original anime by Trigger, and given Trigger's track record of last year, I can't not watch this movie. I'm so excited for this movie. Trigger brought us Darling in the Franxx and SSSS Gridman, and they killed it almost on both of those series, and I am so excited for this movie. It's another sci-fi mech story, and it was announced at AX this year. Trigger hasn't released too much information yet on Premiere, but they have released an illustration, and the art style looks so cool, and I am so ready for this movie. It's apparently said to have the same kind of vibe as Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. I really liked Gurren Lagann, but I didn't really like Kill la Kill that much because Mako killed it for me. That character was so annoying and got under my skin so much that I could not, I think I stopped at like the 7th episode and I just like could not take her anymore. I really liked Gurren Lagann, and if it's anything like Gridman or Darling in the Franxx, I am super excited. Trigger's been coming out with some great stuff recently. Whew. That was a lot of anime to get through. Thanks for sticking with me through my most anticipated anime of 2019. Let me know what you guys are most looking forward to in the comments down below. If you are new to my channel, hey, I'm Amelia, or Moesoda. If you like keeping up with currently airing anime, you should hit that subscribe button, because this year I'm gonna pick one anime from each season to make a video reacting to it each week, and you don't want to miss that. I will be posting on my Twitter and my Instagram, both of them are linked down below, polls for which anime you guys want to see the most. So make sure you follow me on both of my social medias. Like this video if you're ready for some new waifu material. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for everything anime, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye! Bye!